Good evening, lamb chops. It's me, your favorite fluffy vampire, Luma. Oh, okay, hold up. All the noise was coming out of the speakers, not the headphone. This fixed it last time. Let's see. Oh, hi. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Okay. Alright. So, we're gonna try and get through chapter 2 today. I do have to wrap up after about an hour, so it's gonna be a shorter stream. But hopefully it's enough time for us to get through chapter 2 here. If not, we'll just do chapter 3 and whatever's left of 2 next time. I hope that's okay. I kind of forgot what's happening. Oh, we met Mysterious Samurai. He's pissed, but I think he's always pissed. Oh, hold on, let me turn the game audio up a wee bit. It looked a little quiet for you. No problem. Thank you. Okay. But yeah, I don't exactly remember why we're all upset. But I'm sure we'll figure it out. Okay. We just started looking for him. Stopping now would surely cause any of our leads to run dry. Nah, he's jealous. Right. Exactly. Okay, I think he said something about how we're not going to look for my dad anymore. His words stunned me. How could he back out on this? Hijikata remained deeply composed. I'd heard how the warriors of the Choshu domain associated with the Imperial Nationalist Party. For some reason, they find foreigners repulsive, using brute force to prevent any foreign pressure. I think it was a bad lead on her father. Oh. Gotcha. The Shinsengumi, on the other hand, serve the shogun, meaning they're directly opposed. If the Choshu is active, it could mean my own goal for the little concerned in the Shinsengumi. I might have become a burden to them. So, you asking me to refrain from joining the rounds until things with the Choshu domain settle? Hijikata nodded and turned towards the two men. Sorry. Oh, okay. I was making sure the game audio was coming through. We're good. Heisuke seemed 2 steps behind Hijikata's words, until this very moment where he seemed to click. Sounds good? Good. I won't run. I knew he wasn't being serious, but I couldn't stand to keep my mouth shut. I had made up my mind the minute of the men the Shinsengumi agreed to help me find my father. I made a vow to never run from the Shinsengumi for as long as they helped me find my father. My desire to find my father showed no signs of slowing, even since I arrived in Kyoto. I will keep my vow. So please allow me to continue looking for my father. I bowed to Okita, keeping my eyes locked with his. His smirk, however, shrunk slowly as he gazed towards me, caught between the words of what to say. I promise I won't cause any trouble, please. If I lose this opportunity to search for my father, the chances of finding him will shrink. I lied, prostrate before him, and Hijikata simply sighed heavily. Yes, of course. Thank you so much. I didn't know how else to show my gratitude, so I bowed deeply again. Alright. I had to make sure this was the best decision. There was something in his demeanor that made me unsure of my desire to leave the compound. Still, if it was with Okita or Heisuke, I'm sure I'd be safe and well protected. On the other hand, my presence could be an undue burden to them. What was I to do? I'm thinking leave and search for father. I mean, I think that gives us the best chance of running into Mysterious Samurai again. We'll go that. Huh? It feels like there were more people walking around than usual. The streets of Kyoto were packed with people, stifling into shops and businesses all over. Priorities, exactly. Sorry, I was just distracted by all the people. The city is filled with so much more cheer. I guess I just couldn't help myself. Vita's eyes twinkled and he smiled raucously, and I could sense him relax. Okay. We walked down Kyoto's largest street, alongside the First Division. No one came within a few yards of us. They stepped away the moment their eyes caught the bright blue of the Shinsegumi's jackets. I noticed this phenomenon briefly when I first joined the Shinsegumi on their rounds, but it was clear the people of Kyoto feared them. Excuse me. I paused every so often to ask the less intimidated passerby if they'd seen my father. I'm looking for someone. He's in his 40s, speaks with an Edo accent, a doctor, he's friendly, and bald. After a few hours of searching, I met someone who claimed to see the man matching my description. As he spoke, he pointed toward stores selling wood and charcoal. Thank you so much! Okita caught my eye and gave me a stern look. He looked as if I was going to reprimand me when... The cry came from a Shinsegumi soldier, and Okita turned, his lips tightening into a thin line. His hand dropped to his sword, and he ran toward the commotion. Townsfolk shrieked, and he ran like leaves before a gale. Whoa! In the sudden press of fleeting distance, I found myself pulled away from Okita. For a moment, I panicked, but I realized that perhaps it was best. If I stayed close, he would have been forced to keep attention on me. I hoped to avoid distracting him. Shit, that went to 0 to 100 real fast. I hid in an alley to watch, and I could return to the First Division once the tension simmered. Huh? I paused for a moment. A strange man was inviting me into his store. Not as strange on the face, perhaps, but it was warned many times to be on my guard. I was about to politely refuse, but I realized was the stores the man was pointing to earlier. Excuse me, is this Masu's? Great. You see, I'm looking for someone and... Huh? I'm not Shinsegumi. No, it's not like that. I was just looking for someone. Even if I had been walking with them, the reaction of the store's customers seemed excessive. He gave a small, unconcerned shrug and leapt through the door of the shop. Masu's exploded with a clang of blades, men swearing and scrambling across furniture. What is the meaning of this? What on earth happened? Sounds mighty sus, it did. Ah! When we returned to Shinsegumi headquarters, Sanan and a number of less than pleasant words. We kneeled for some time and as the colonel berated us before Okita finally spoke up. When the fight was over, we discovered a massive arms cache and confiscated the entire thing. No one bothered to explain to me that was happening, however, and I was utterly lost. Gang Wars Samurai Edition. It feels like it, doesn't it? Yeah, this whole situation feels very mafia-esque, I guess. The corners of Heisuke's mouth twitched into a smile, but Shimada interrupted him to continue. Yamazaki nodded in silent agreement. I didn't seem Nagakura was going to let Okita get away without rubbing his mistake in his face. Oh my god. Both Kai and Shimada and Susumu Yamazaki serve as Shinsengumi officers and spies under Hijikata. Aside from the captain who stay in the Yagi residence, they are some of the few people entrusted with the knowledge of my situation. In other words, these men are highly valued officers within the organization. Despite their resounding support, I felt a rush of guilt sweep over me and I spoke up. I'm so sorry. It's all my fault. Some Ronin were causing trouble, so I tried to get out of the way, and I got separated from Okita in the crowd, and I didn't go right back to him. Before I really realized what was going on, someone just started shouting at me. He glared at me, his eyes hard and angry, and my throat tightly clenched into dryness. When I'd first met him, Sanan had been nice, if a little quiet. After his injury, however, it was as if he'd become an entirely different man. Oh, so this is the guy that, like, can't do this anymore because he got slashed up real good. Sanan looked over as Hijikata walked into the room. He gave the commander a tight, weird smile, but got only a peaceful, impartial glance in return. His voice was calm and measured, but we all felt the import of his words. Imagine setting an entire city on fire just to kidnap one guy. Even though each man displayed his professionalism differently, they were all clearly prepared. Sanan's been possessed by that spirit from Higurashi. Oh my god. As they quieted down, Hijikata turned toward me, as if he only just noticed my presence. Prologue. What? My father was someone from the West? But my father went missing in Kyoto. How could he be with someone from the West? But no one had an answer for me. Preparations for the raid began immediately. Within moments, the compound was like a beehive, with soldiers and officers running back and forth. The tension felt thick enough to cut with a knife. I found it affecting me despite my best efforts. My encounter with Masu's created some of their current headache, and I'd hoped to make up for it. Hey, can I, Oh. It became clear to me that I had very little to offer when it came to preparing for a raid. At the end of the day, all I could do was stay quietly on the side and avoid being a burden. Just then, I heard someone's voice out of the blue. That's right. There were a handful of men who had bedridden from the swift food poisoning epidemic, leaving them short-handed in battle. They planned on dividing the troops in half. Kondo's troop will go to the Ikeda Inn, and Hijikata's troop will head to Shikoku Inn. Them? What? I swear I heard something before about a reaction to blood, but this was something I was not supposed to hear. The two men hadn't realized I was listening to the conversation, but it was crucial that I didn't say a word. There was no doubt that what I was hearing was not meant for my ears. I shoved my fingers into my ears and closed my eyes tightly. The best I could do was to make sure I didn't hear anything else. My eyes flew open to see Kondo before me. I couldn't just sit there. I told him the truth. Had I felt so useless and I left my room to find some way to help. Yeah. Excited? More like bloodthirsty, to be honest. What? That was not what I expected him to say. You mean go on the raid with you? I don't know if I could. You raise a good point. Now that you mention it, I did remember hearing that Kondo's troop only had 10 people in it. Well, alright. If I'll just be the messenger. His face split to a grin, and I found myself on the way to Ikeda Inn with the accompanied their raid. Kondo's presence was relieving, and his good nature gave me comfort in asking him a question. Kondo, your uniform is different than the one of the other men wear. The Shinsegame's unique light blue uniform made it so anyone in Kyoto would recognize him. However, Kondo's uniform was white, almost cream, setting him apart from his men. See, I didn't know the corpse uniform came in so many varieties. Their usual uniform was well fitted and the color stood out, but this white uniform was more elegant. I smiled when I looked at his uniform and braced myself for what was to come. Hour of the Dog! Hell yeah! That's my favorite hour! After we arrived in Ikeda, I was sent off on several short errands nearby. I returned to hear the Nagakura talking about Okita. Man, this guy got his tits out. Soji too. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I have to. Did like actual samurai ever have their? Is it a kimono? Is it kimono? I don't know if that's the right word. Their kimonos like open like that. They're just teasing. Perhaps the Choshu were trying to trick the Shinsengumi. I certainly wouldn't have known. Whatever the reason of their behavior, however, neither Nagakura nor Akita seemed worried. Seisuke noticed me and I approached and I jogged over. To be honest, I didn't really see anyone nearby. Seisuke. The larger men smacked Seisuke playfully on the shoulder with a bark of laughter. Pretty sure kimono is exclusively for women. Gotcha. Well, whatever these are called. Did they ever wear them open like that? I don't think so, right? Is that just an anime thing where their tits are out? Heisuke frowned and Takada, who was on the standby near behind Heisuke, nodded in agreement. Oh, this bitch. I can't believe I almost fell for you. Asshole. I know Yukata's the one for men. I don't know all the attire. Gotcha. But Kondo, I'm pretty sure like that's how they wore it. I was just like thinking out loud, I guess. Like, damn, does samurai really have their tits out in real life? That's crazy. But no matter how long we waited, the officials never came. Hour of the boar. I looked up at the sky. The moon inched itself further across the sky since we had arrived at Ikeda Inn. Wouldn't it be shit if this was all a lie and they're attacking our base right now? What do we want to do, Kondo? Oh shit, he already said that. The chief had been quiet all this time, but when Okita addressed him, he finally stood up and spoke. Okita nodded quietly but firmly. Huh. TL, they did actually wear kimonos. Ah! Oh, they're all like talking shit subtly to you, bitch. Get fucked. Alright. He stood up, smiled curtly, and ran inside the inn. His declaration was met with a company of yells and screams erupting out of the inn. Heisuke and Nagakura grinned at one another as they sauntered towards the inn. The battle began in earnest. The yells of the men clanging as swords filled the air, rolling out through the doors and windows of the inn. I heard feet pound the upstairs and screams of dying men, the wet thud of bodies dropping to the floor. Well, there was someone, but all the men who came to the captains ran around the back and couldn't hear Nagakura. Takeda, on the other hand, was stationed outside to arrest anyone trying to flee the building. What should I do? The only person left to go and help them was me. But even if I did, what could I do? That was when I heard Kondo. Nagakura called out from somewhere else in the inn. Oh no! I had the desire to enter a slaughterhouse with men killing one another. Even if I did, I had no illusions about my skill with a blade. I was sure to be killed before I'd even drawn it. but I could hardly stand around and do nothing. From the Okuda art I'm seeing, for the most part, they kept their clothes on. There are a few dudes with blatantly open shirts. Alright. Yeah, samurai, get your tits out. Perhaps I couldn't fight. I could rescue the wounded, find them, carry them out of the inn. I made up my mind, steeled myself, and ran inside. And she said. Inside, it was pitch black. The smell of blood hit me like a stomach, as if the stomach fist, filling the air. There were dark lumps on the floor everywhere, bodies of fallen men. Where were Okita and Heisuke? It sounded like a good idea at the time, but as I looked around the carnal house, I realized there was no way I could carry 2 men outside. What should I do? Oh boy. The only one I hadn't picked is look for Heisuke. But if I can be real, I don't really give a fuck about Heisuke. I guess scope things out. If I wander aimlessly in the darkness of the Ikeda Inn, I'm only going to become a nuisance. I should scope things out. I looked around the inn. What? Out of the darkness, a Ronin appeared. His sword had already ready, headed straight for me. As his sword swept down, another interposed itself between us. Nagakura's blade. I mean, this ain't a bad option either. He's pretty good. He's pretty hot. The Ronin gurgled wetly as Nagakura drove his sword deep in the man's stomach. Blood exploded everywhere. I felt my throat suddenly rise. So much blood. I wanted to help, but I focused on his hand. Nagakura, your hand! His left hand was drenched in bright crimson blood, as if the hand was simply gone. It looks awful! Nagakura glanced down and laughed. Swanning, or we'll get one of those jingles like affection amidst the battle, yeah. Oh no, what do I do? He's hot! What do I do? Do I help him or do I just go? I'm gonna help him. But you're hurt. There's no way I can just walk away from that. I rushed to check the injury, but he gestured me to stay back. His troubled eyes met mine, and then I saw his eyes that witnessed the share of trying battles. His face was one of a warrior, who was tired of fighting, but continued for the honor and courage. True, Nagakura's injury wasn't life-threatening, and we have yet to know what happened to Okita and Heisuke for now. Mao panic. Nagakura urged me once more, and I had to leave him behind in concern and look for them. Got it. Nagakura, please be careful. Nagakura's encouragement allowed me to push forward up the stairs. Inside the room, there was a flicker of light. Kita? Heisuke? I called out for him, but received no response. Were they not here, or... My heart retched from the fear of the thought. Heisuke! Heisuke! His forehead was gushing blood, and he laid there collapsed on the floor. In the next room, Okita was hunched over on the floor, throwing up blood. I checked them both to make sure they were breathing and strapped cloth around their wounds, laying them gently on the floor. I was desperately administering their emergency first aid when I heard someone running from the bottom of the stairway. It seemed that Hichikata's troops, who were at the Shikoku Inn, came here to reinforce us. Oh, thank goodness. Thanks to Saito and Harada's good work, the Ronin from the Ikata Inn were dealt with. After making sure Okita and Heisuke were carefully carried off, I went downstairs. It seemed for now like the matters of the Ikeda Inn were resolved, a temporary moment of peace. However, the horrors of the battle haunted each corner of the inn. Downstairs, Nagakura popped out of the uniform in tatters. Oh, please, it was nothing. I mean, I've dealt with many injuries back at the... Hey! Nagakura, show me your injury. Nagakura lifted his left hand, still dripping from the open wound. I told him. Show me your hand right now. No, Nagakura, I'm not leaving you here with your injury unattended. Now show me. He chuckled nervously, liked because I furrowed my brow at him and he wouldn't take no for an answer. Nagakura gingerly approached the staircase to sit, lifting his body left hand to see. Oh. Look at you. This is a pretty bad injury. How are you able to fight like this? He should have just been like, bitch, I'm right-handed. I want to see how bad the injury is. This might hurt a little, but I'll be gentle, okay? I'm sorry. I didn't think you'd hit the bone, so... Let's treat this thoroughly when we get back. I cut a piece of my handkerchief and wrapped it around Nagakura's hand. What a sweet moment, tending that really bloody hand. This is all I can do for the time being. Sorry. Yeah, being all tough for those 2 seconds, then, wait, hold up, wait. Thank you. That means a lot to me. I'm right back at you, Nagakura. Finally, the sun rose from the black sky. The raid itself had lasted only 2 hours, but for me, it felt like far longer. There had been 20 Imperial Nationalists at the Akita Inn. The Shinsengumi had killed 7 Ronin and injured 4 more. I learned later that with the help of the Aizu Domain and the Kyoto Judiciary Commissioner, they arrested 23 people. The owner of the Akita Inn had also been arrested for trying to help the Choshu rebels escape. The Shinsengumi had won an incredible victory, fighting against the superior numbers in an enemy territory, but they did pay dearly for it. Okita had taken a blow to the chest and lost consciousness. Heisuke had been cut on the forehead and was bleeding, and the bleeding refused to stop. Nagakura had injured his left hand. One of the Shinsegumi's shoulders lost his life at the inn's rear entrance, and 2 others were severely injured there as well. It didn't seem likely that they would survive. The Kyoto military judiciary commissioners also fought the Choshu Inn. With their successful resolution of the Battle of the Akita Inn, the Shinsengumi had, at last, made a name for themselves. It looked as though the peace in Kyoto had been protected. Never could I have imagined what the ultimate result of the victory would be. July of 1864. Weeks passed since the Battle of the Akita Inn. In the meantime, the Shinsengumi grew stricter during their rounds to arrest the numerous outlawed Ronin that escaped the Akita Inn. Rumors surfaced that the extremists who were plotting the exact revenge on the Shinsengumi. I don't think that was the end of the chapter, though. I think that's just telling us some time has passed. Usually it'll say, like, Chapter 3 start at the side instead of just the date, so I don't think we're out of Chapter 2 yet. Additionally, there were also problems occurring with warriors spanning from their other domains, making the tents around their headquarters. Things were finally settling down. As a result of my efforts during the battle, they grew more encouraging of my involvement. The Shinsengumi allowed me to sweep the area in front of the headquarters on my own. One day, I was cleaning the courtyard with a broom when I heard a gentle footsteps approaching. Yeah. The voice came from behind me, so I was caught off guard when answering. There he is! There he is! Didn't I meet you the other day? I met him on my first day I was allowed to leave the Shinsegumi compound. There was a mysterious samurai that helped me while I awaited Hijikata's return to the tea shop. Why, yes, I appreciate your help the other day. The other day? It was like 4 months ago. It probably was. God, I forget how much time has passed. Now that I remember it, this man called me by my name when I encountered him, but I never learned his name. I remember Hijikata scolded me for not knowing his name, so I brought up the question. I'm sorry, I never asked for your name despite you saving me. Is it alright if I get your name? His eyes twinkled kindly before he spoke, and I sensed a faint melancholy in his voice. Ah, Hachiro Iba. What a pretty name! I'll have to tell Hijikata later. He knows your father. Oh my god, imagine. So, how may I help you today, Iba? Iba kept a stealing glance towards the base. I assumed his business was with the Shinsegumi. When I first met him, Iba defended a tea shopkeeper from Takeda. In this encounter, Takeda proudly declared himself a warrior of the Shinsegumi. I slightly suspected Iba wanted to visit and inform the leaders about the incident. Takeda showed up suddenly, as if he telepathically knew I was speaking to someone. He just perks up like, the bitch is talking to another man. I gotta get down there. Oh, Hijikata, this man is... Before I could finish my sentence, the man ran towards Hijikata. They know each other? Can't tell if she's going straight to the first names or the game localizes the name in order. I think it's localized. I think it's localized because Hijikata, I'm pretty sure, is his like last name or family name. So I think the game is like switching them. I think we called Hachiro Iba because that's his last name. Pretty sure. Pretty sure Iba is Mysterious Samurai last name. When Hijikata realized who it was, his eyes grew wide. I find it annoying when they localize it. No, for 100%. I really agree with you. At least they didn't pull like the really bad localization where they start changing names, you know? Like at least it's still Toshizo Hijikata and not like, I don't know, John Smith or something, you know what I mean? Like My Hero. Did they change names in that? You're kidding. Oh my god. The one I was thinking of was Fire Emblem. Like they changed Jacob to Jacob. They changed Zero to Niles. They changed Leon to Leo. They changed Suyu's name, who can currently be heard as Suyu, to Sue. Oh, gross. That's a Tokyo Mew Mew level of like, they went from, fuck, I don't even know their name. Their names are like Ayami or whatever. Like, what was there was one like, the boy's name was like Heisuke or something. You know, it wasn't a hard Japanese name. It was something like Heisuke. They changed it to like Kent or something. I was like, what the fuck you mean? I don't know, Tokyo Mew Mew I think got it the worst though ever. But yeah, no, that's shit. Joey from Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh my god, you're right. Joey from Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh my god, look at him blush! You think they're gay? Kiss, 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 kiss. How very unlike himself. Hijikata seemed to be flustered and his cheeks were rosy. Their reports suggest they've known each other for some time. Were they good friends? I still needed to tell Hijikata that Iba was the samurai who came to my aid at the tea shop. Once I verified the conversation had come to a halt, I muttered to the courage to speak to Hijikata. Now, Kith, yes. Hijikata, this was the young gentleman who helped me at the Takata the other day at the tea shop. Hijikata frowned his eyebrows. Hijikata looked uncomfortable offering anyone any sort of kindness, but he looked at Iba warmly. Oh, come on, kiss! Just kiss him! I took tea to the two in the hall. Hijikata told me to remain there, so I decided to listen in. Looking up examples of badly localized Japanese names, and one of the examples was Tokyo Mew Mew. Exactly. They got it so bad. And, and Okozume? I listened intently, but subtly, since I was unfamiliar with the contents of the conversation. Oh, wow. I'm honored to meet such a man. But, what would bring a man of his stature here, Hijikata? This meant Iba was someone who worked directly with the Shogun. What an honor. I made no sense as to why they would interact with Shinsengumi or why they had any business with us. I did my best to nod without offending him. Iba's eyes shined with adoration, but Hijikata scoffed and he rolled his eyes. Iba glanced at me and he asked his question before looking at Hijikata. I gasped and cut my hands over my mouth, and Hijikata's eyes darted to me sternly. It would seem Iba picked up on the fact that I was female, judging by their interaction. I didn't want to confirm any answers, so I stared towards the mat underneath without speaking. It's not her fault, she's a woman! Hijikata looked resigned towards Iba and sighed. He's subtly calling them dumbasses for not realizing it. How did he know everything? When he mentioned my father's name, the hairs on my neck stood up. How do you know my father's name? I guess Hijikata was also shocked by his knowledge, and he looked dubiously towards Iba. My god, you called it. He does know who the fuck we are. Oh, God. Eva asked timidly, and it finally clicked for me. If Eva had visited my father's clinic, then that explains why he would have known my name and my father. No matter how hard I tried, however, I couldn't recall his face or name from memory. Oh, I'm gonna just keep clicking options I haven't clicked if there's no, like, for sure answer, right? Sorry for not remembering. I'm really sorry for not remembering you. Ah, shit. Fuck. Eva's expression seemed a little disappointed by my response. Shit. Wait, no, maybe. Maybe we're good. Maybe we're good. But I remember you now. Ah, we're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. Oh, Kopi and Doko, listen here. We are trying to get this man, okay? Yes. His smile was so contagious, I couldn't help myself from smiling in response. Just woke up. Well, good morning then, Risu. I fucking love that. Don't lie to him. Don't fucking lie to him, Bluma. I'll make sure we see more. Sheesh. He'll make sure you don't forget. Yeah, house skin. Whew. Okay. Whew. Focus. Whew, shit. We're buddies. Shot through the heart. That's not fair. I can't believe you put me in the buddy zone. Iba drew Hijikata closer to a jovial manner, and Hijikata blushed at the notion. Fuck, this mysterious samurai be bisexual. He's getting him. He's getting me. Shit. Hijikata's normally so uptight, so seeing him behave this way was really startling. I had a lingering suspicion that Hijikata was actually enjoying himself. Somehow managed to drink twice and ended up waking kind of late. Shit happens, man. All of the commotion must have been alerted the captains, as they popped up from nowhere. Maybe something like that. Eva nodded plainly in response. Yeah, right now. Middle of the day. Let's go get sloshed. Hell yeah. Each of the captains surrounded Iba and exchanged words. Most of all, Iba seemed lost in the amount of fun he had while conversating with everyone. I guess he really knew everyone back in Edo. Hijikata watched their interaction with warmth in his eyes and muttered, "Going to get slushies? No. I mean, I guess. We could put alcohol in those, yeah. It seems no one can escape from the... Oh shit, you said that. He seemed to be especially fond of Hijikata, though. But I couldn't dare say that. Fuck yes, I will. Understood, boss. Before we knew it, evening had come, and Iba told us that it was time for him to depart. As we exchanged goodbyes, the warriors returned to their afternoon rounds. One of them seemed to take notice of us, and he rushed over while shouting. Switch. It was Takeda, glaring at Iba angrily and demanding answers. Oh yeah, the Sailor Moon localizations too. Shit, those were pretty bad. Yeah, that's my cousin, not my girlfriend. I hate that. God, that riles me up. They're really close cousins. Fuck. Iba's eyes sharpened directly at Takeda, and the latter stopped his pacing and deepened his voice. Takeda seemingly snapped into shape, speaking with a semblance of respect before storming off. Iba seemed to relax, despite everything. Everyone silently stood still, and I was afraid for another incident, so I sighed once Takeda left. He cares. Please do. Please do. Didn't he mean he's coming to see me? Oh my god, he's gonna see me? For me? Is for me? Or did he just mean he was visiting headquarters? I couldn't respond since I was unsure, and Iba smiled at me with twinkling eyes. His face seemed reluctant, if not forlorn, and he left the compound. Apparently Cardcaptor Sakura had so many characters in the English dub that it's totally different. Yeah. For me? Yeah, exactly. Iba was a mysterious person. Even if he was someone very important and upper class, he acted with integrity and kindness, commanding a lot of respect from the captain of the Shinsegae. I did not think there was a samurai like him in the shogunate. Okay, so it still doesn't say chapter 3, so I have to assume we're still in chapter 2. But this does seem like a good break point. Bluma was like, yeah, I know exactly. Exactly, I was doing that. Oh shit, how do I... Oh. There we go. Okay, but this is a good breaking point. Sorry, I do have to wrap it up early today. I got some stuff that came up I gotta go do. But we'll definitely, at least next week, we'll probably finish chapter 2 and chapter 3. I'm not sure how many chapters there are. I know the other Hakuoki had like 5 or 6 chapters? Question mark? But yeah, at least we got to see Mysterious Samurai Man. And he seems to like us. So, you know, aces to that. Oh, the schedule will be up a little later today. I still have to work on it. Sorry for the lateness. Don't worry about it, Rusu. Don't worry about it. So yeah, the schedule's gonna be up a little later. Sorry, my bad. I was gonna work on it, but then this thing came up, so it'll be a little bit later in the day. But I just, for sure, Monster Hunter tomorrow. I think Monster Hunter Monday, again, seems like a really chill idea. So we'll do that again. And the rest, I'm not sure. We'll both figure it out when I put the schedule up. Aces. Thanks for coming, guys. I appreciate y'all. There we go. And I hope I see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.